So I've got things good enough to do a little driving, so we're gonna fire it up and have its maiden voyage out of the shop. Front fenders are just barely hung on, that kind of stuff. Still lots of work to do, but I figured it'd be a good motivation to at least drive around a little bit before I move to the next step. So let's fire it up and see how it moves. Do a little walk around here since it's outside. See that faded paint not shine in the sun. Makes the polished aluminum look better, you know, and you got that's the only thing that's shiny. So it's still lots of work to do, but this is motivating at least to get to this point. I'd say it's a pretty good accomplishment. Moving under its own power. My first fuel injected swap. I adjusted the stance on the front a little bit, raised it up so at least I'm legal in my state. It says that you can't let any body parts hang below the rim, so we're good there. And that's a good stance, I think. Got a little bit of a rake to it. Tried to set the, I don't know if it's very, might not have a good angle here to really see the tires, but my, what I did is I set it so the fender lip hits about the same spot on the tread as on the front and the back. So I thought that kind of gave it a nice look. A little bit of a rake because the back tires are an inch or two taller than the front, but the fender lips are set to the same location on the treads or on the sidewall. I think it looks pretty sharp that way, so coming along. I'm pretty excited. Now that we're to the drive around stage, since it can actually move under its own power, I'm back to the front brake leaking issue, the banjo washers. So I'm gonna tackle that and make a big mess today. And what I'm doing is I'm going from this normal copper banjo washer to these stat O-seals is what they're called. And it's it looks like aluminum with the rubber impregnation. From what I was reading on the internet or researching how to fix this issue, is that if guys can't get them to stop leaking with these, usually these will do the trick. They're a little more conforming, I guess. So the other thing I'm going to do is once I get the bolt out of the caliper, I'm going to look at it real good and see if it's coming out. Like say here's the caliper, make sure that it's coming straight up out of there and not off to one side or the other, because I was getting some odd indentations. Like one side had marks but the other side didn't, so there's a chance that surface isn't flush either, and that might be my whole issue. So I'll look at that before I put it back together with these. I did buy quite a few of them, but again, every time I change them out, it's a huge mess and I got to bleed and all that stuff. So I'll look it over real good before I stick these on there, and then we'll go from there. But I'm feeling pretty confident about these. That's a pretty neat looking washer. Looking over the old banjo washers here to look for any obvious issues. This is the washer that goes against the bolt here. Oh, he's trying to drop that in the line, to block in the line or whatever, and that looks good. That one's a little off, but it's got a good groove all the way around it, so I don't think that's an issue. I think it's always been leaking in between. So this one looks a little out of right here where my thumb is. See, there's not quite a good imprint right there, but there is on the next one. And that's weird. It's not like half, it's just one little spot. Then the other side doesn't have anything because I filed that piece down smooth, and that could be an issue too, is sealing against a smooth surface. But I would think if it was tight enough it wouldn't matter. I don't know. I'll go take a look at the other side. And here's the other side. Again, this is the one that was on the bolt, between the bolt and the line. Almost the same kind of weird offset, but again, it did seal, looks like. That side looks real good. And then here's the one that goes against the caliper. That looks really good. And again, nothing on this side because it's been filed clean. So maybe I'm fighting. I mean, that's not my original battle, because my original battle was definitely the caliper was just a cast mess. So I'm not too worried about refiling it, other than maybe if I need to put some coarseness in it. But I'm tempted just to put those stato seals on there just as is and see if maybe they would be better about sealing that surface. So we'll try that without. And if I got to take it apart again, I got extra ones, but hopefully this is the last time. I'm really surprised this one leaked. It looks pretty good now. One thing I'm noticing right away when I put this seal on there, it goes on really snug. It fits this bolt just perfect. And I bet that could definitely make a difference if it's sealing against the bolt as well as the mating surface. Although this part's threaded, so you're not going to have any seal between the thread. But up here on the top, that's a tight fit. That's nice. Here's the information on those stato seals. I'm not sure the best place to get them. I got these off of eBay, but here are the numbers off the little packages if these are of any use. It looks like the part number is NAS 1523-7E, and then you've got that manufacturer part number there of 600-3142-7/16. Yeah, I'm real curious to see if these will work. They appear to not be leaking anymore, at least so far. I've pumped the brakes a bunch, held them down hard, checked and rechecked. I am feeling a little bit of brake fluid out here, but I think it's just still residuals from changing it out. So I will continue to monitor them. The other side, there seems to be nothing no matter what, but I'll keep monitoring this side just to double check. But I'm not getting any drips or anything like I did at the last couple go rounds, where I'd get in there, pump the brakes up, come out here, and it'd actually be, dripping out. So this is good so far. So like I said, I'll keep monitoring it just out of paranoia. But I think those stato seal washers were the trick to get these leaky fittings fixed. So if you guys have problems with that, I would recommend those if you can find them. Figure what I'd share, what I drug home the other day. Uh-oh, I'm getting attacked. Anyway, what I drug home the other day, a guy we know is cleaning up some property to build a subdivision, and this thing's been on that property forever, and it was headed to the cut and torch. So figured I'd drag it over here, and lots of good parts on it. Don't know what I'm going to do with it. Might just leave it as is, but I'm not sure I need an F-600 for anything. But lots of these parts work over on the fit on the pickups, of course. Pretty much everything except for the front fenders, cab wise, and of course those short running boards, but everything else I think is pretty similar. A lot of the stuff that makes this an F-600 is pretty banged up. The fenders are smashed up, but not beyond repair. Cab's got a big crease. The roof's been thoroughly demolished from being used as a truck, of course. But like I said, there's lots of good parts for me. I've got that brown, what is it, a 54, that I'm hoping that my son, who's turning 12 this month, if he gets some interest in these trucks, then maybe we can build him one, or maybe I'll get a hankering someday to build another one. But the grill's really nice. I'm not a huge fan of the 55 grill. I prefer the 54 and the 56 over this one, but it's sure in nice shape. So a couple little dings here and there. Kind of wish the bumper was in better shape. That could be kind of cool to use on the way it wraps around on the edges, but this one's pretty thoroughly destroyed. I mean, probably fixable with a lot of loving, but don't know if I'll mess with that. Interior wise, it does still have the seat in it, which is actually in decent shape. I'm sure you probably start sitting on it and start cracking, but I did drive it over here as I was being towed, so it didn't fall apart then. It's got some holes in it, but I said at least it's a full seat. Could be reupholstered, or gonna throw a seat cover on it. Dash is in good shape. For habit, I'd be curious what's underneath that carpet, but what I'm seeing everywhere else, the floors and stuff, cab corners are all solid. It's got a fuel tank filler on the other side, but missing some things. But like I said, yeah, lots of good parts for that other pickup if and when we decide to build it. And if not, oh well. But I might end up just taking the cab off of this, because those are the only parts I'm going to need, and send the rest of it maybe on its way. I don't know. You know, even if I wanted to build something that looked like an F-600, I'd almost be tempted to put it on a later model chassis. These trucks are just so old and slow that it'd be fine for a parade or something, but I don't really have a need for that. So we'll see. Like I said, it's here. Saved it from the crusher. That's the main thing. The future of it's unknown, but at least it'll stay whole for a while, or hopefully get some good use out of it eventually.